Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 40 of Was I in the Wrong? Here on the Misty Morrison podcast, we like to judge, we like to give advice, we love all the petty trauma. But before we get into our stories for the day, our usual housekeeping, whether you are new or returning, please engage with the content. It really helps the channel grow, and it only takes a minute or two for you. Rate, review, like, share it with a friend, subscribe for more, comment with your thoughts on the stories down below. I love to hear what you guys think too. All the things. All right, into our stories for today. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/AITAH. AITA for not letting my neighbor's kid use my Wi-Fi. AITA for putting my foot down and refusing to let my neighbor's kid, 12 male, use my Wi-Fi after they kept sharing my password around. I'm 39 female living in a fairly ordinary apartment building. A while back, my neighbor, he's a single dad, about 41, asked me if his son could hop onto my Wi-Fi to get his homework done. I figured it was a reasonable favor, so I agreed. Supposedly, it was only going to be for a couple of weeks. Well, it didn't take long for things to spiral. My internet started crawling at a snail's pace. Devices I didn't recognize kept popping up on my connection. Turns out the kid had doled out my password to every child on our floor so they could all play games together after school. I spoke to my neighbor politely and changed the password. Handed it out again, just to him. Not even a week later, déjà vu. My internet was sluggish and more strange devices appeared. Repeat this a third time, and I was done. I changed my password and kept it to myself. Now my neighbor's acting put out, making it sound as if I'm being unreasonable or stingy for not helping out the community. Honestly, I feel a bit taken advantage of. I tried to be helpful, but they abused my generosity, and I don't feel guilty for saying no anymore. Or does shutting it down after getting burned like this make me the jerk? Or is this just common sense? Because frankly, my patience has limits, and so does my bandwidth. Love the ending there. That was a cute way to put it. No, you are right. You have been more than generous. And the fact that your neighbor, the dad, is acting put out because you won't give your third new password to them again is really outrageous. He's very entitled, apparently, because after you spoke to him the first time, you said, "Hey, it seems like my password got shared with the other kids on the floor. I'm having really slow internet issues now because of it, so I changed the password. Here's a new one just for you and your son to use," because the son was supposed to be using it for homework, not to play with the neighborhood kids. At that point, sharing it once, generous. Sharing it the second time, after they caused you a problem, more than generous. So at that point, the dad should have gone to the son and said, "Listen, this neighbor is doing us a big favor to let us use her internet because we don't have internet right now. You cannot share it with anybody. You're going to lose your privileges if you share it. It was wrong for you to share it in the first place. These are the reasons why it was wrong. Don't do it." And it doesn't seem like he ever had that conversation with his kid. It seems like he was just like, "Oh, she changed the password. Here's a new one." Rinse and repeat. What was it, 12 male? Yeah, the kid's 12. So I get it on his part, but not the dad's part. So the fact that the second time they did it again, no, you have every right to be done. You have been more than generous, and they have taken advantage of you at this point. So you are right. They are being entitled. Keep your password to yourself. Okay, story number 2 is coming to us from r/work advice, another new sub for us. How do I politely tell my coworker their lunch stinks up the whole office? This one is tagged workplace issue. So I've run into this awkward problem at work. One of my coworkers keeps microwaving their lunch and the smell is rough. I'm not talking about normal food smells. I mean the kind where the whole office ends up reeking for hours. It gets into the carpet, lingers in the air, and makes it super hard to concentrate. The thing is, I don't want to come off as rude or insulting. It's their lunch, their choice, and I know everyone's food culture and taste is different. But at the same time, we all have to share the space, and it's gotten to the point where people are making faces and avoiding the break room when they're heating it up. How do I bring this up without sounding like a jerk? Do I approach them directly, or should I just ask my boss or HR to address it in a general email to everyone? You should do none of the above. Honestly, it sucks that this person isn't aware enough to say, hey, I'm really sorry. Like, I had this meal for lunch today. It's really gonna smell bad for a while. Or to recognize that they are inconveniencing people and bringing something different. But I don't know if like this food that because it seems like this is consistent. So I don't know if this food that they're bringing is maybe like a cultural dish that has a lot of strong aromas and seasonings that like you are not familiar with. Also, I don't know if everyone else is really making faces or if it's mostly just you, if your sniffer is too strong or too sensitive. I don't fully have enough details here. But no, I mean, they haven't done anything wrong. They haven't done anything bad. They are warming up their lunch as they are entitled to do, just like everybody else. So I don't think you should approach them directly, and I surely do not think you should talk to your boss or HR about this person's lunch choices. I don't know if it is an office setting or a cubicle setting, but either way, my suggestion to you is you get a wax warmer, a wallflower, some kind of on-demand scent device, candles if you're allowed to have candles, I don't know, but something to where when it is getting close to lunchtime, you can turn it on, your space starts to smell good, and hopefully if you turn it on before, the scent of whatever you're turning on will overpower the smell coming from the break room. I really think it is not your place to talk to this coworker or anyone above this coworker to try to rectify the situation because they're not doing anything wrong. How would you feel if you brought something for lunch and people got upset about it and told you you can't bring that for lunch again. You can't eat that here. It smells too bad. I don't think there's a way for you to do this that isn't rude or insulting. And if this is cultural dishes that they are eating, that is just unfamiliar food to you, if you bring it up to your boss or HR, you could be the one who ends up in trouble for discrimination. I wouldn't touch this. I would try my best to make sure that my space smells good and call it a day. That's as much as you can do. You are wrong. You are being a jerk trying to stop them from the basic right that is utilizing the break room to warm up their lunch just like everybody else. Handle your own space and let the rest go. Story number 3 is coming to us from r/AITA_relationships. AITA for considering breaking up with my 20 boyfriend 20 if he goes out on Halloween without me. So me and my boyfriend have been together for over 2 years. I have very clearly expressed how much I enjoy Halloween and how important it is to me that we spend it together. Problem is, my boyfriend is turning 21 before Halloween, and I'm not 21 till close to Christmas. Backstory, we recently moved into an apartment together, and at his new work, he has been making friends. The closest friends he has made is his female manager, 25. She looks just like me and acts just like me. Her boyfriend lives 3 hours away, so am I wrong to think she does not need to be so close to my boyfriend? Anyway, back to the story, the female manager has invited my boyfriend and I to a party at her friend's house for Halloween, and I was honestly excited. But then my boyfriend told me he didn't want me there. And after a rough argument, he said, we'll see. And now he's saying that maybe I can go, but she also invited him to bar hop after the party, which I am not invited to. I've expressed how deeply uncomfortable this idea makes me. I am already stuck as the DD, but now you want to go out without me with a group of chicks late at night. Wait. I am already stuck as a DD, but now you want to go out with a group of chicks late at night drinking without your actual girlfriend? AITA, Please help. Okay, I feel like this ended up being 2 separate questions within the one post. So we'll back up. Your first question is, am I wrong to think she does not need to be so close to my boyfriend? No, you're not wrong to think that. Partly because she is his manager, and partly because she has a boyfriend and this is your boyfriend. I don't like that. I don't think anyone should ever be that close to your significant other who's of the opposite sex. Yes, I do think men and women can be friends and like nothing be going on. I do think that. But when they get this close, especially this fast, it raises some red flags. But your second question, your main question, am I the asshole for considering breaking up with my boyfriend if he goes out on Halloween without me? So he's going out with the female manager who is very similar to you. Her boyfriend won't be there because he lives 3 hours away. So she has planned this party with guys. They're gonna have a Halloween party and then they're gonna go bar hopping. And that sounds like a recipe for disaster. Disaster. I think your boyfriend is either being really oblivious or he knows what he's doing and he doesn't care. I think he should be considerate enough of you and care enough about you since you have moved in together at this point. He should care enough about you to respect when you say, I do not like this other relationship that you have. It makes me uncomfortable. Beyond that, you already know how important Halloween is to me. I have already made it clear that I want us to spend Halloween together. And now for her, you want to leave me alone on Halloween. Nothing about this reads as okay. Nothing about this reads as happy, healthy relationship. So this really, I don't think is necessarily about him going out on Halloween without you. It's about a lot of the backstory. And it is about the fact that you have already expressed that you want to be together for Halloween. And he's disregarding everything that you have expressed as your own desires in favor of his own. And like the fact that it was an argument, he literally said he didn't want you there. And then when you argued, he said, we'll see. Really, because he just wanted the argument to end. No, you're not wrong. I think you're right. He is making really poor choices at this point. He is choosing someone else over you. And that is a really big red flag. So you are not wrong. You are right. It sounds harsh the way you wrote it, but once you get into it, it's about more than that. Story number 4 is coming to us from r/AITA_WIBTA_public. AITA for snapping at a guy who kept bothering me on the bus. I'm 27 female and was on my way home from work a few nights ago, taking the bus like I usually do. It was late around 9:30 and the bus was pretty empty except for a few people scattered around. The guy got on and sat right across from me even though there were plenty of other empty seats. At first, I didn't think much of it, but then he started asking me personal questions. Stuff like where I live, if I had a boyfriend, and what time I usually get off work. I kept giving short answers and putting my headphones back in, hoping he'd get the hint. He didn't. He leaned in and told me I was too pretty to look so serious and asked for my number. Creeper! At this point, I was really uncomfortable. I told him to leave me alone. He laughed and said I was being rude and that girls like me always think we're too good for everyone. I finally snapped and told him to shut up and move seats. He did, but then spent the rest of the ride muttering insults under his breath. When I got off the bus, he shouted after me, calling me a bitch. When I told my roommate about it later, she said I was probably fine, but maybe I was too harsh and could have just ignored him. Now I'm second-guessing myself. I was uncomfortable and just wanted him to stop. But was I overreacting by snapping at him instead of just staying quiet? No. You are not wrong, you're right. Because it seems like you did try to stay quiet. You're like, I gave short answers, I put my headphones in, I tried to ignore him, and he kept talking to you. He kept on. He continued. He was the one being rude. Like, making conversation is fine, but he was being creepy about it. Like, when he sits down, and let's see, He started asking you personal questions, stuff like where I live, if I had a boyfriend, and what time I usually get off work. That's creepy. No one that you just met, that you have no relationship with, you don't even know who this person is, needs to know what time you normally get off work. He's trying to figure out what time you're going to be alone on that bus late at night. It's creepy. No, you're not wrong. You were protecting yourself. If there wasn't anything wrong with him psychologically, he wouldn't have gone off muttering insults and then hollered what a bitch you were because he made you uncomfortable. Because let's see, what did you say? Okay. He told you were too pretty to look so serious, asked for your number, you felt uncomfortable and told him to leave you alone. He laughed and then said you were being rude. You told him to leave you alone. Could you have further said, you're making me uncomfortable? Yes, but all you had to say was, what did you say? I just got so sidetracked. You told him to leave you alone, and that should be enough for someone who doesn't have like something else going on. Just being asked to be left alone should be enough. You shouldn't have to fight for that. So, no. Like, you tried being calm and collected at first. He continued. I feel like when he continued, he escalated the situation, and so you rightly escalated in return. Fair's fair. Just leave people alone. Story number 5 is coming to us from r/AITH. That is a super short one. AITA for telling my roommate's friend to stop staying over so often. My roommate's best friend has been crashing at our place almost every night for the past 2 weeks. He doesn't pay rent, uses our utilities, and leaves a mess in the kitchen. I finally told my roommate that it's not fair to me and that their friend needs to cut back on the overnight stays. My roommate got upset and said I was being rude and unwelcoming. Am I in the wrong here? No, because staying over every single night for 2 weeks is not a visit. It's trying to move in, and he's not paying for anything. You're right. Your roommate, if there's only the two, I'm assuming there's only the two of you. So if there's 2 of you, your roommate should be prioritizing you over his friends in the home situation because it is his home, or hers, I don't know, because it is his home and it is your home. You are the 2 who pay utilities. You are the 2 who live there, who should be comfortable there. And if you are saying to your friend, hey, I'm getting uncomfortable with how much this person is here, they always leave a mess, I'd really appreciate if they wouldn't be here so often. Your roommate should have respected that. Say, I'm sorry, this has turned into a lot. I didn't realize you were uncomfortable. I will have a conversation with my friend and tell them they can't come over as often. That should have been it. That seems like the right thing to do. Yeah. I mean, if this continues, I would honestly escalate with your friend. Say, listen, either this person needs to start paying rent or one of us needs to find other arrangements. Of course, if that is not something that is feasible to you, don't say that. Don't bluff. But no, you're right. Story number 6 is coming to us from r/advice. How do I tell my boyfriend that I don't want his mother living with us? I, 24 female, new boyfriend, R, 26 male, are planning on moving in soon. We both are Indian, and in our culture, wife moves in with the husband and his family. R's parents separated 6 years back, and he's been living alone for 4 to 5 years now, though his mom is with him for a week every month for her time off work. And the rest... Okay, this is not good English. And for the rest of the 3 weeks, she's at work. After being with his elder brother for a little while, he surely does not want to live together with him, which is again common for brothers to live under one roof with parents. He and his mom stuck together and are on perfect terms. His mother has had a pretty bad life growing up as a kid, and later even her married life was no good. After the separation, his elder brother, now 30 male, also started living alone, and their father later started staying with the elder son. Now she wants to quit job and stay home full time. Me and R are planning on moving in together pretty soon, and it was clear and unsaid always that R will not let mom live alone and she will be staying with R always. I was fairly okay with this, but recently I've started feeling cold with her as she acts different than she did before. Just setting the scene, R's elder brother is an addict and is dependent on their father. But mom always makes extra efforts when it comes to him. Although R is solely the one who looks after her, she has a soft spot for her eldest. And mind you, the eldest had always been a disaster. Does not want to work, won't settle, and still won't stop drugs. She always makes excuses that he needs more help and will never look after R with the same passion. I feel overwhelmed around her, and I would like if just the two of us moved in. I've proposed silently, but he is very sensitive about his mother and says she's gone through enough and now he wants her to be happy and not worry about anything. But the thing is, she keeps sarcastically taunting me, laughingly disapproves of any of my house chores or career choices, and is in a silent race of whether she or me are better for her son. Who can cook good for him? Who knows him well? Who he asks when he needs help, etc. None of which I give a shit, but it's bothering me now. I've told him this, but he gets really emotional over their past and says he'll do the best he can to keep things calm. And he does, no doubt. He asks her to be careful of my feelings and stands up for me. But I don't feel the peace at our place knowing my mother-in-law will be with us forever. Also, she is willing to do anything for her eldest, even if it means overlooking R, but does not want to stay with the eldest because he does not earn and is not serious about life. Everyone in R's family tries to pamper his elder brother and not even bother about R and I's family, and not even bother about how R and I feel. R's family is really toxic for him personally. He sees it but ignores it, saying the only family that matters to him is me and his mother, and has always had it clear that it would be his mother over me anytime, which I'm okay with. But she's been bothering me a lot lately. Overall, my relationship with my mother-in-law has been very strong. We really were close, but all of a sudden, I've started feeling distant with her. No specific reason, but I don't want to spend my entire life in a house with her. What can I do, please? I do need some advice. Please don't ask me to leave my boyfriend. I want to work things out somehow in both of our favor. I'm not going to tell you to leave him because you asked me not to, but one of you is going to be unhappy. That's the only way that this works out. Even though you've said you're okay with settling for being second in his life, because he has always said that he would pick his mother over you, she's going to live there. Like, he has made it clear he is going to support his mom. She is going to live there, and he is always going to pick her. There is no way that you can work it out in both of your favor because he wants his mommy and you don't. So if neither one of you is willing to leave, if you want to stay in this relationship, you are going to be unhappy because you are going to live with your boyfriend and your mother-in-law and you are going to be the third wheel. That is all there is to it. I don't think it can be done. I really hate this for you because you seem pretty determined to stay, which is fine if you want to stay. But there is no way to work it out in both of your favors because you both want completely opposite things. Can't be done. Ooh. Okay. Story number 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Story number 7 is coming to us from r/am I the jerk. AITJ for refusing to go to my cousin's child-free wedding with my kids. My cousin, 30 female, is having a wedding next month and has made it very clear it's a child-free event. I, 32 female, have 2 kids, 3 and 5, and I told her I wouldn't be able to attend unless they could come since I can't find childcare that weekend. She told me it's her choice and I should respect it. I told her I'm not mad, but I simply won't be able to come. Now my aunt and uncle are saying I'm being unsupportive and selfish for not attending. I'm honestly confused. Am I wrong for not going if I can't bring my kids? Okay, I feel like the title question, unless it's just worded weirdly, is different from the ending question. The title is, Am I the jerk for refusing to go to my cousin's child-free wedding with my kids? That doesn't seem like that's an option. Going with the kids is not an option. Okay. Am I wrong for not going if I can't bring my kids? No. I feel like you've handled this situation completely correctly. Your cousin has said she is having a child-free wedding. You said, I understand that. I can't find childcare. She said, she said it's my choice. You should respect my choice for my wedding. You said, I do. I just can't come then. You just said, okay, your wedding is child free. I cannot find childcare. I have children. I cannot come. It is not possible for me to come. So now your aunt and uncle, which would be her parents, are saying that you are being unsupportive and selfish. You're really not, because you're not trying to change her plans. You're just saying, I cannot fit my life within the confines of your plans. So to be respectful of your wishes for your wedding, I am not going to attend. Like there's only two options here. You either find childcare and you attend because you are able, or you cannot find childcare and you don't attend. Bringing the children is not an option. You are not saying, I'm going to show up to your child-free wedding with my kids because I can't find childcare. No, you're saying, I can't find childcare. I'm not coming. That is the right thing to do. That is completely the right thing to do. It sucks. Like if you are close to your cousin, it sucks that you can't attend her wedding. But it is what it is. Not everyone has a village. Not everyone can find childcare when they need it. That is just a reality. You can't find childcare for the weekend that her wedding is happening, so you can't go. That's all there is to it. You're not being unsupportive. You are being restrained by her restriction on her wedding of saying it's child-free and your restriction of you can't leave 3 and a 5-year-old home alone. That's all there is to it. You are not the jerk. You are right. They're being unreasonable. Okay, that is 7 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? Thank you so much for being here. I love chatting with you guys as always, and I will see you next time for another episode of the Misty Morrison Podcast. Bye.